Okay, I've got a little bit of time tonight, so I'm going to go over some obsidian again. I napped this before, but I want to compare the different types of Owens Valley obsidian that I received as a gift. Now, the Owens Valley in California is a pretty big area. I'm not going to tell you exactly where these things were found because the friend of mine who sent me this is not interested in letting everybody know where to go and stomp around and mess around in the areas that he collected this from. So you'll just have to figure that out on your own. But what I'm going to do is, there's basically three types that I can figure out. Three main types of obsidian from that area in this batch. Let me see if I can get them out here. I seem to remember. Yeah, there's this nice, excellent quality gray, dark gray, charcoal gray obsidian. There is this clearish, high quality, very high grade obsidian. And there's also this black butter looking stuff. Let me see. This is more of that charcoal gray. Some might call this Dacite, the charcoal gray looking stuff, which probably is, technically, I guess. But I call it obsidian because it's not like the Dacite that I'm used to. Where is it? Where's the darker black? Let me see. This one is not from Owens Valley. This stuff here, the more grainy Dacite, I made a large blade of this out of this stuff. It's not the same as this Dacite. Okay, it looks like the same exact color, but it's not the same as far as nappability. That grainier type of obsidian I would call Dacite. This I would call obsidian, but some people call this Dacite. So I guess you'll have to figure that out on your own too. Is this it? Yeah, this is the dark black or the opaque black beautiful butter Dacite or obsidian. So there's three types from the Owens Valley that I've got in this batch. The dark black butter, the dark gray butter, and the high grade smoky looking stuff. Actually, it's all high grade. These two nap like mahogany obsidian, which is one of my favorites. So these two are automatically my favorites as well because they nap like the mahogany obsidian. I love this dark black, jet black butter obsidian very much. I like it very much. If I were to nap obsidian, I would stick with these three types: the dark gray buttery stuff, the black buttery stuff, and the mahogany obsidian. They're all, to me, all in the same category of nappability. They almost feel otherworldly, like a plastic. You know, just the texture of it. It doesn't nap like plastic. Let me be clear here. It feels like a plastic. That's the only way I can describe it. It doesn't feel like a glass. Like this is obsidian, but it feels exactly like glass, and it naps exactly like glass. It's more inconsistent than bottle glass, but you can start out with some beautiful spalls of this stuff instead of trying to nap bottle bottoms. Bottle bottoms are great, but they don't allow you to knock off big old thick spalls from pieces like this. This is the smoky, clear stuff. So you can see that edge. You can see through that edge a little bit. Kinda, sorta. It's not cooperating. But anyway, it's beautiful stuff. All this stuff, I like it a lot from the Owens Valley. So I'm going to nap a little bit of it. I think this is the black butter stuff. Let's see if I can remove a spall from this. You can find this stuff in other areas of California and Oregon as well. A lot of artifacts were made from this in a huge area, in the Great Basin area, in California and Oregon, and probably Washington State. That whole area traded in this stuff and used this kind of stuff. And you see a lot of artifacts made from it. For good reason. I'm going to see if I can knock off a good spall from this black butter stuff. Did this come off of here? Yes, it did. So that's what this is. I'm almost hesitant to hit this because I don't want to ruin it. It's beautiful stuff. Yes, it is. All right. But I'm going to hit it anyway because that's just the way I am. I can't resist breaking into this stuff. I'm going to remove some of this naturally cracked area underneath the cortex and see what happens. But I've got to be careful, obviously, because this is snap in half stuff. Oh yes, snaps in half so easily. It's, well, I thought it was jet black, but it looks like it could be semi-translucent. All right. Yeah, that's not gonna work. It's too crackly right there. So what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Oh yeah, so nice. You don't know the good spots until you actually break into it, and then you find out, well, maybe I should have taken a spall in that direction to capture this nice area, but you don't know it's nice until you break into it. That's the problem. So now that I know, I can try to take a spall in the other direction, but I got to prepare for it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try to hit this area to take a spall off of this part. Doesn't take much effort to do it. And looks like I got a nice spall, but it's a bunch of chunky stuff. But it contains this crackly stuff I can't do anything with, so trash that. This is all crackly and lumpy. Can't do that. Can't do anything with that. This one is nice. I can do something with that one. This one, unfortunately, broke up, but it looked like it has some defects in this area. But I'm pretty sure I can still, which that's sharp. I can still do something with this piece. Right? Right. And this one might shape up into a biface. If I can get past all the cracks, the internal cracks and stuff. So, do I nap this one or do I nap this one? Let's go with the one that everyone wants to see. Let's go with this one here. Where am I going to nap it? Either side looks good, you know. So what do I do? Remove that part and leave this, or remove that part and leave that? Do I leave it like, do I get this part, or do I get this part? Decisions. I hit right there. Did I hit that? No, I hit this. So maybe I hit that earlier. Someone tell me quick before I start hitting it again, because it matters. If there's incipient cracks here, I don't want this part. I don't see many incipient cracks on the other side except for here. Now it's not a problem if I don't care and I just want little bitty arrowheads. It's not a problem. But if I want a you know, a blade 4 inches or something, I've got to be very careful about it. Now there's a lot of these available on the surface, this size. So a lot of people want to see me work this size in an efficient way so that they can try to copy the technique. I recommend using copper or aluminum on Obsidian, although you can use steel and antler. Why don't I recommend antler and hammerstone on Obsidian? Because you got to be very picky about the antler and the hammerstone. Yeah. You got to make sure that you're using pieces of antler and hammerstone that are consistent, that won't get all nasty and be inconsistent when you're trying to nap. That's why I prefer to use aluminum and copper, because they're consistent all the way through. It's a pure substance. Although it's manufactured, it's consistent all the way through, so you don't have to worry about the tool itself. With natural materials, you can do it, but you got to worry about the quality of the natural material, and it could mess you all up, especially with hammerstones. Hammerstones are not always what they appear to be. They work great when they work great. They work terrible when they're not working great. And you never know. So kudos to the guys that always use natural tools when napping Obsidian. Kudos to those guys, because it's not easy. And you might say, well, that's what the Indians did. You mean kudos to the Indians, or the kudos to the guys that use them now? Both. It's probably why you see tons and tons of this stuff napped and just left, you know, all these cruddies left behind, because the Indians were using antler and hammerstones, and if it's not consistent, they're going to be breaking a lot of these and making a lot of cruddy flakes. That one shot. Oh, I thought it was going to be an overshot, but nope, no magic overshots. There's a defect right there, but I can use that beautiful piece. Oh yes, I can use that piece too. Not a problem. So that tip came off. Looks like it's pretty much, I'm going to be using this side. Yeah. Nap off the other side. I was going to try to do a comparison between these different types of obsidian. But it looks like I'm just gonna nap this into a biface. This is like regular glass, okay? So that's how you nap this, like regular glass. This is like mahogany obsidian. You nap it like mahogany obsidian. This one, however, is like in between obsidian and mahogany, in between this clear stuff and mahogany obsidian. It's an in-betweener. Yep. Yeah, that's a Flintknapping term. There's a lot of in-betweeners. I like that word because it rhymes with wieners. I can make it sound funny. Yep. Are you a wiener if you nap the in-betweeners? No, you're not. Alright, here we go. I'm going to try to knock off some flakes now to try to get this into a biface. I'm going to try to strategically do this. Still be able to use some of that. I thought it was jet black opaque, but it's not. It's got bands in it. Very interesting. Looks jet black. Probably is more densely black in some areas. It could be variable. I gotta pay attention here. It's so easy to nap and so easy to make a mistake on. Okay, get it out of the way so it I can see clearly what's going on. If I can see clearly what's going on in the viewfinder, hopefully you can too. What was I going to do? I was going to say something else in this video. I was going to include something else, but now I forgot. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to focus on bifacing. Beautiful. It's curved, but I can get an arrowhead out of that. Careful not to throw it in the box like I do with the heat treat and the cherts. The heat treat and the cherts stand up better to being thrown around. This stuff does not. Any little tap on this stuff, any little bit of mistreatment, and it will complain, it will break, it will snap, and it will fuss. You'll crack. Oh yes. So is there a clear strategy for working around all this crackly stuff? Nope, there's no clear strategy. You just gotta examine the piece you're working with. Just try your best to figure out the puzzle. It is like working on a puzzle. Everyone's gonna do it in a different way. With the same piece, if everyone had an identical piece, they would all approach it differently. There's no set way. You know, the only thing you keep in your mind is don't snap it in half and try to make a biface. That's the only baseline. I got lots of shards in here. My new favorite store for buying gloves now is Harbor Freight. I can just go out and buy gloves for like $6 a pair now. So that's what I'm going to start doing. I repair these with tape, and then in a couple days of napping, it's all ruined. Alright, so is there a better way to nap this? Not that I know of. I like using aluminum on this stuff. Copper works well too, but copper's a little bit harsh for me. But I am going to start using copper again. You copper guys, don't worry. I just got showered in the face with some of that. See, when you hit a very strong platform, the danger is, for me anyway, it causes a lot of shatter, and that shatter can go up into your face. Luckily, I've got my reader glasses on, or else I would have got a bunch of that in my eye. A bunch of this stuff just went into my face. Why does it happen when you got a strong platform? Because it just does. I don't know. Just gotta watch it. With a weaker platform, it tends to shatter out that way, but with a strong platform, it tends to go back at you a little bit. I guess it's because it's thicker and more robust. The flakes don't have much choice. They gotta come back at you, I guess. I don't know. So after I'm done with this, I gotta shake off all those shards very well before I go in the house or anywhere else, before I go in my van. Okay. It only takes a little bit of a strike to remove these nice flakes. And all the shatter went that way this time. Now, why don't I use a billet and a pad, a bopper and a pad, some of you might say? It's because I started that way when I first started napping, and I didn't have good results. Mainly because I was limited in my mobility. I can't move this workpiece around very much to examine it. I got it down here. I mean, you can get used to the pad. It just was something extra I had to worry about. And this way, freehand just feels more natural. Besides, I can be standing up doing this too, if I want to. Like if I'm out in the field testing stuff, I can be walking around napping. I don't have to sit down and get the pad out, get a stool or a chair, and get myself set up like I'm having a picnic out there. I can quickly go and look around and nap while standing up. Alright. If you don't have a technique that you can nap while standing up, you're going to have to bring all your stuff and look like you're having a little picnic out there, out in the dry riverbed or something. Of course, it's okay if no one's around, but it looks too much at home if you got people watching you. You're going, wait, are you out here living out here? Because you got your furniture and stuff. You got your table set up and got all kinds of stuff. You got your backpack and your umbrella, and looks like you're setting up a little shop out here. What you doing out here? You know, that kind of thing. Anyway. If you do like this, no, I'm just walking around, just curious on some of these stones and looking for stones to chip. I'm not setting up shop. How do I know this? Why do I talk about those scenarios? I don't know. It's a mystery. I don't know how I know these things. No one's ever watched me collecting stones before. I've never had 4 pairs of eyes looking at me while I'm out in the field. trying to gather stuff. Nope. Never had anyone drive up on me with ATVs asking me what the hell I'm doing. Nope. So it's a mystery. All right. What's going on here? Am I making some progress or no? Maybe. I'm getting nice flakes. These are good for little Southwest style arrowheads because they're little bitty. They're like less than an inch long. If I want to make a bunch, I can make a bunch out of those flakes. Out of flakes like this. Easy peasy. Easy peasy little arrowheads. You might say, well, show us the little flake arrowheads. You don't do enough of those videos. You might be saying, you don't do enough of those videos with the little flakes. I want to see. Yeah, I want to see too. Show me if some other guys are doing that on YouTube. With the little bitty flakes. I want to see. I don't want you guys to have all the fun. I want to see someone make arrowheads out of those little bitty thin flakes. Yeah. Okay, so that I could leave it like that and frustrate you guys to no end. And just say, that's good enough for me. I would do indirect percussion on this from here on out. Don't want to mess with it. Because this stuff is notorious for snapping in half. Oh, yes. I know it is. And I'm going to go a little bit further. Yes, I am. All right. Why did I smooth everything out? Because I don't want anything catching and bending it all of a suddenly. I want nice smooth flake removals. I want to swipe hit. I don't want any sudden grabbing. Even though I'm aggressive with this stuff, I don't want to be too aggressive. It does need some friction in order to peel flakes off, but you gotta achieve a balance. You can't have too much of one thing. It can't be too slippery and it can't be too grabby. It's gotta be in between. It's gotta be an in-betweener. Beautiful. Yep. And those will get you. See that? That's why you got to tiptoe through the tulips when you're grabbing these things out of the box. Look at that. Extremely, extremely sharp. Why don't I grind those off before put them in the box in that case? Well, those are controlled sharpnesses. Yeah. I do it on purpose. I do those little points on purpose. I like them. It's controlled. Yeah. So slowly but surely. Take off these flakes. Get rid of the thick spots. Oops, not like that. Not like that either. What the heck? What am I doing? Yeah, I'm reaching the limits of my skill when it comes to the billet. And when that happens, I should stop. But I'm not going to. Nope. I'm going to push my luck. Yes, I am. That's the difference between knapping and other skills. You got to manage your risk. Some of you might say, well, you're going to manage to risk it too much. You're going to manage to break it. It's possible. Like I've said in other videos, many times I'm right on the verge of breaking it with every strike. I'm right on the verge of breaking it in half with every strike in some cases. I'm still kind of safe with this because it's still fairly thick. But it's getting to the point where I'm reaching the limit of my skill with the billet. And if I continue, I could risk everything. Unnecessarily. You gotta have some risk if you want to thin it. The thinner you get, the more risky it gets. The guys that get these things really thin, they're taking a lot of risk. They learn to manage the risks. Yes, yes. Just checking which side I had smoothed earlier because I don't want it to grab it and snap it. And I'm supporting it just at the point where I'm hitting, right? This other stuff, other fingers are just there to lend a little bit of support. Most of the support is right where I'm striking, so that's where I feel the pressure. Like on this finger, the middle finger it's usually right where I'm striking. The middle finger travels around the surface and it goes right where the most of the force is. See, I got my finger there underneath, right where I'm going to hit. And yeah, that's how I catch a lot of these flakes. And most of the time those flakes travel right under my finger where it's applying the most support. Now, can you control that support and make the flakes travel because of the support? Yeah, but that adds an extra thing to think about, which I don't like to do. I don't like to add extra things. I don't worry about the support other than making sure that the primary support is right where I'm striking. That's the main consideration for me. I don't do anything down behind the scenes back here with the support. It's just sitting there. No special feel or anything. It's just I know where I'm going to hit and I'm going to support right underneath. And if it stops the flake, oh well. Maybe I will just hold it a little less firmly. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Sometimes it's an issue, sometimes it isn't an issue. Depends on the material too. Sometimes I can feel when the flakes are breaking because I'm touching the biface, so I'll spread apart my fingers and let the flake travel between. I can do that. But it's risky because it can snap right between the fingers. It can snap at that point. See, I got my finger resting right where I'm going to remove the flake. And yes, that might cause the flake to stop, but I'd rather it stop than bridge it and crack it. I can live with step fractures. I can usually get them from another direction. Alright, so I'm nearing the end of the bifacing stage. I just have one more lumpy area right there, and that's it. So I'm not going to push the issue too much further. And again, my finger's right there. Yeah. I can get that with indirect percussion a lot easier than with direct percussion. Because I can be more precise with the hits. And preparing the platform is a lot more productive. You can prepare a nice platform, and then because of the lack of accuracy with direct percussion, you mess it up because you don't hit the platform just right. But with indirect percussion, you can hit the platform just right. And I say platform when I should say striking area, because you really don't know where the platform was until after the fact. You just kind of try to hit that striking area, and then you'll see the platform after it's been removed, after the flake's been removed. All right, here we go. Beautiful. Wait for it. There it is. And I can use this flake just as it is. It's a controlled skinning flake. Yes. Yeah. I don't see any cracks anywhere. I have no excuses on this one. If it snaps in half, it's all on me. Some of you guys might be saying, okay, stop and just offer it in the auction so I can nap the rest of it down into a point. Just hold on. Don't do no mores. I want it. You might say, you already did the hard part. Just give it up. Because this is the part that I can't get to. Some of you might be saying, I can't get to this stage. Now that it's at this stage, just give it to me. Okay? Just let me have it, because that's where I want to be. I can never get here. I know. I know. How do I know? Everybody? I don't know. It's a mystery. I'm going to trim it a little bit. Yes, I'm going to trim it a little bit. Okay, not too much. Just a little. Where is the mallet? There it is. I gotta trim off that nasty spot. If it will let me. Did it let me? I think it did. Yeah. I think it did. Beautiful. Nice. Tiptoe. Tiptoe. Remember tiptoe. I gotta remember to tiptoe through the tulips with this. If I hit too hard, you'll hear that telltale tink. It means I now have two bifaces. Am I creating suspense on purpose? Just to get on your nerves? You'll never know. Never know. Maybe. Maybe I like imagining that it's a nail biter for everybody right now. It's not that bad because it's not that thin yet. But it is kind of a nail biter because I don't know the limits of the material until I actually break one like this. Then I know, ooh, I can't go that far. I don't know my limits yet, so it's risky. It's dicey. Oh, yes. And this is a steel one. I am using the steel. It does work. And it can work without crushing the edge. You just can't hit too hard, which is easy. It's easy not to hit too hard with this stuff because it flakes so easily. Yes, it does. Yeah, I'm going to the islands with that. See, that's how the island starts. It starts with one cliff. Then it becomes two cliffs. Those step fractures remind me of cliffs on the edge of an island. One cliff leads to two cliffs, leads to 3, 4, and before you know it, you're surrounded by cliffs. And then you go home and cry. Yep. That didn't do it. That didn't do it. I'm trying to attack it. How do I attack that lump? Attack it with direct percussion? Yeah, but I could overshoot it if I'm not accurate. And why am I attacking it when it's all not symmetrical? It's not even symmetrical. I'm just using the extra mass I have here to knock a flake into the area. That's all. It's probably going to be trimmed away anyway, but oh well. You know, I'll probably have to trim some of that side too if I was going to make a point out of it. Let's see. Let us see what it did. Okay. There it is. Now, it stopped right there. No, it didn't. It went a little bit further. I thought it had stopped at a step, but it didn't. So now it's easier to clear it off by just taking a little flake right there. And voila. I still see some nastiness in there, but a lot of times that can be cleared up with pressure flaking. Yep. So just brush it. I'm just going to brush it a little bit. I'm going to be done with this in a minute. I'm going to brush it a little bit. And some of that will be removed. Some of those loose flakes. And I can probably get rid of that stuff with pressure flaking. Where's the pressure flaker? And just clean that up. Just so you don't have to suffer if you end up with this piece. If I do it right, there won't be any step fracturing on the edge. There's a little bit of a step right there. It's not good. Did I get it? Ooh, it's smoother now. Yeah. Yeah, we got a flake Flake flying warning. Low flying flakes. These flakes are flying everywhere. These pressure flakes. Yeah, there's no major issues on the edge. It's got thick spots though. Yeah, I'll stop messing with it. Okay. Besides, I got an itch. I think a piece of glass went through the pants right there. I'll check it in a minute. So there it is. There's this stuff. I'm not sure if I napped this stuff already on video, but I enjoyed that quite a bit. Now it's going to have to be probably trimmed here, unless you want to make a crescent looking blade out of it or something. You can dish this section out, make a crescent blade. So you got some options. I don't know if you can hear the neighbor's dog. It doesn't sound too happy. Yep. We got foxes and coyotes back there roaming the alleys. So whenever the dogs smell one, they go nuts. All right, that's it for that one. It's, yeah, nice material. I'm going to put that in the box with bifaces. I'll get to it tomorrow. Some of these I might nap into points. I might offer the box just like this for sale. We'll see. I got a lot of work to do tomorrow. This will be in the auction too. I'll probably cut it down a little bit smaller so it'll fit in that flat rate box, because it's sticking out about 1 inch. Yeah. I'll just make the foreshaft a little smaller. Shorter. Right now it's, I don't know. A little over 8 inches. Just the wood on the foreshaft. This one is 10 1/4. Okay. Anyway, little side distraction there. So, where's the other piece I was going to nap on video? Yeah. I'm probably still going to nap this on video, so I'm not going to lose this one. Yeah, can't lose that one. And I'm probably going to nap this on video. And I'll try the little agate thin slab. We'll see. I might just sell that one like that. Yeah. We'll see what happens. I think I might nap it on video, but it's going to be a lot smaller. I'm going to warn you. Spoiler alert. I'm going to have to see that crack in there. I'm going to have to take that off, that whole section off. And it's going to, the arrowheads are going to be in this section here. You know what I mean? It's going to be this section here. And the thinner part's going to be the point. Well, I can do it either way. I can make the thinner part the base too. We'll see. Okay, that's it.